Ladies and gentlemen, life is filled with moments where people will test our character. Sometimes it's through harsh words, insults, or attempts to belittle us. But how we respond to these moments reveals the depth of our wisdom and maturity. It's easy to retaliate with anger, to meet insult with insult, but that path leads to destruction for ourselves and those around us. The true test of strength is in restraint, not retaliation. When someone insults you, they are attempting to pull you into their world of negativity. But remember, you don't have to participate. You have a choice to rise above the noise. To respond with wisdom is to protect your peace, to guard your dignity, and to show that no one can control your emotions but you. Let's explore how we can respond with grace when insulted. When someone hurls insults at you, it's easy to feel hurt, offended, or even outraged. But let's take a step back and ask, why would someone feel the need to attack you with their words? More often than not, the root of an insult lies within the person delivering it, not in the person receiving it. The reality is, people speak from their own pain, frustration, and insecurity. When someone insults you, what they are truly revealing is the state of their own heart. Consider this: no healthy, whole person goes around trying to diminish others. A person who is secure in their identity, confident in their worth, and at peace within themselves doesn't need to tear anyone down to feel bigger. Insults come from a place of emptiness, from a soul that's wrestling with its own inadequacies. When a person lashes out, they are often projecting their inner struggles outward. They are carrying hurt, and that hurt spills over into their words. Now, understanding this doesn't excuse poor behavior, but it does provide clarity. When you recognize that the insult is more about them than it is about you, it allows you to separate yourself from the situation. You are not the problem. You don't have to absorb their negativity or let it define your worth. In fact, the moment you take their words to heart, you are giving them power they don't deserve. Instead of reacting with anger or letting their words pierce your spirit, take a moment to see the bigger picture. Ask yourself, what might this person be going through? What pain are they masking? When you can view the situation through this lens, it becomes easier to extend empathy rather than resentment. Remember, you are responsible for your own response, not for someone else's behavior. Their insults might be a cry for help, a sign that they are struggling in ways you may never fully understand. Your responsibility is to protect your peace and maintain your integrity. By understanding the source of the insult, you free yourself from the need to retaliate or defend your dignity. You already know who you are, and their words don't have the power to change that. In fact, when you choose to respond with wisdom and patience, you not only rise above the insult, but you also set an example of strength and maturity. You show that no matter what others throw at you, your character remains intact. You are not defined by someone else's opinion or attack. You are defined by your own sense of worth and the strength you carry within. When you are faced with insults or offensive behavior, your first instinct might be to react. It's natural to feel the heat rise within you, to feel the surge of anger or hurt that demands an immediate response. But true strength lies not in reacting, but in holding your peace. In moments of insult, maintaining your calm is the greatest demonstration of self-mastery. When you remain calm, you are not only controlling your emotions, but also controlling the situation. The person insulting you is often looking for a reaction, hoping to pull you into their chaos. They want to provoke you, to disturb your peace. But when you remain calm, you deny them that power. You stand as a person who is not easily shaken, someone who is anchored in something deeper than the opinions or provocations of others. Staying calm doesn't mean you are weak or passive. On the contrary, it takes incredible strength to master your emotions, especially in the face of hostility. Anyone can lash out. Anyone can let their emotions take over. But it takes a person of wisdom to choose calmness when chaos is surrounding them. That calmness reflects inner security and unshakable confidence that you are in control of yourself, no matter what others may do or say. The beauty of calmness is that it diffuses the situation. When someone is angry, upset, or trying to insult you, their energy feeds on your response. If you give them fire in return, the flames grow stronger and the situation escalates. But if you respond with calmness, you extinguish their fuel. Suddenly their anger has nowhere to go. They are faced with a person who refuses to be moved by negativity, and that often disarms them. Calmness also grants you clarity. When emotions are running high, it becomes difficult to think clearly or make wise decisions. But when you remain calm, your mind stays clear, and you can see the situation for what it truly is. You are able to respond from a place of wisdom, not from the heat of the moment. This clarity allows you to maintain control over your words and actions, ensuring that you don't say or do something you'll later regret. In those moments of tension, when an insult is hurled your way, remind yourself that calmness is not a sign of surrender, it's a sign of power. You are choosing to rise above the situation. You are showing that no one's words can disrupt the peace you've worked so hard to cultivate within. And by maintaining your calm, you become an example to others. You show them that it is possible to navigate conflict without losing yourself in the process. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember that your calmness is your strength. It's your shield against negativity and a reflection of the deep confidence you carry within. By maintaining your calm, you rise above the insult, preserving your dignity and protecting your peace. In the heat of the moment, when someone insults you or speaks harshly, there's a natural urge to respond immediately. Our emotions stir and we feel compelled to defend ourselves, to set the record straight, or to retaliate with words that match the offense. But wisdom calls for something different: reflection before reaction. The ability to pause and reflect before responding is a mark of maturity. It shows that you are in control of your emotions, rather than allowing your emotions to control you. Reacting too quickly, without thinking, often leads to regret. Words spoken in haste can create more damage than the original insult itself. When you take time to reflect, even for just a moment, you give yourself the opportunity to rise above the situation and to respond with clarity and wisdom. That brief pause allows you to ask yourself key questions. What is the best way to handle this? Is this worth my energy? What outcome am I seeking by responding? These questions help you see the bigger picture beyond the immediate sting of the insult. Reflection opens the door to a more thoughtful response, one that is not driven by emotion but by intentionality. In that pause, you can consider whether the situation even requires a response at all. Not every insult deserves an answer. Some conflicts are best left untouched, as engaging in them only pulls you into unnecessary drama. Reflection helps you discern whether this is a battle worth fighting or simply a distraction from your peace and purpose. Sometimes silence is the most powerful response you can give. But even when a response is necessary, reflecting before reacting allows you to choose your words carefully. It gives you the space to think about how your words would impact the other person and the situation. Will your response escalate the tension, or will it bring peace? Will it add to the conflict, or will it diffuse it? By reflecting, you ensure that your words align with your character and not just with your emotions. Furthermore, when you reflect before reacting, you also give yourself the chance to detach emotionally from the insult. This detachment helps you see things from a different perspective. You can begin to understand the other person's motives without taking their words personally. Perhaps they are speaking from a place of pain or frustration, and their insult is more about their own struggles than about you. Reflection gives you the emotional space to respond with empathy rather than with anger. Ultimately, reflecting before reacting puts you in control of the situation. Instead of being swept away by the emotions of the moment, you stand firm in your principles and respond in a way that is consistent with who you are. It shows that you are not defined by someone else's words, but by your own inner strength and wisdom. Taking a moment to reflect may seem like a small act, but it can change the entire outcome of a situation. It can turn a potential conflict into an opportunity for peace and understanding. So in moments of tension, when your emotions are pulling you toward a quick reaction, remember the power of reflection. It's in that moment of pause that you find the strength to respond, not with impulsiveness, but with wisdom. When someone insults you or acts with hostility, the natural response might be to strike back, to defend yourself, or to match their energy. But wisdom invites us to respond differently, not with bitterness or aggression, but with grace. Grace is the ability to extend kindness and understanding even in the face of offense. It is a reflection of strength, not weakness, because it takes far more courage to respond with grace than to retaliate. Responding with grace is a deliberate choice. It requires us to rise above the situation, to look beyond the insult and see the humanity in the other person. The one who insults you may be acting out of frustration, pain, or insecurity. Their words may come from a place of brokenness or misunderstanding. Grace acknowledges this reality, choosing to respond not to the insult itself, but to the deeper needs behind it. To respond with grace is to demonstrate that you are not controlled by the emotions of the moment. You are not reacting from a place of hurt, but from a place of wisdom and compassion. Grace allows you to disarm hostility and create space for healing, both for yourself and the other person. Instead of fueling the fire, grace brings a sense of calm, turning away anger with a soft and measured response. Grace doesn't mean you accept mistreatment or ignore injustice. It doesn't mean allowing others to trample on your dignity. Rather, it means that in the face of offense, you maintain your composure and refuse to be drawn into a cycle of negativity. You respond in a way that upholds your integrity. You speak with wisdom, choosing words that bring clarity and resolution instead of escalating the conflict. Responding with grace also shifts the power dynamic. When someone insults you, they are often trying to provoke a reaction to pull you down to their level. But grace elevates the conversation. It shows that you are not bound by their words, that you are secure in your identity, and that your response comes from a place of inner strength. Grace reflects the confidence of someone who knows their worth is not determined by the opinions of others. Moreover, grace has the power to transform. It may not change the person who insulted you immediately, but it plants a seed. Your gracious response might cause them to reflect on their own behavior, to see the impact of their words, or even to reconsider their approach. Grace has a way of softening hearts and creating opportunities for reconciliation where there was once conflict. When you respond with grace, you also protect your own peace. Insults, if allowed, can lodge themselves in your heart and mind, breeding bitterness and resentment. But grace acts as a shield, preventing those negative emotions from taking root. By choosing to respond with kindness, you guard your own soul from the corrosive effects of anger and hurt. Grace is not merely a response to the other person, it is a reflection of who you are. It speaks to the depth of your character, showing that you are not easily swayed by the actions of others. You stand firm in your values, and your response is a testament to your strength and wisdom. Grace is a reflection of self-respect. It shows that you honor yourself enough not to be drawn into pettiness or conflict. In the end, responding with grace is an act of freedom. You free yourself from the need to prove anything to others, from the pressure to defend yourself in every situation. You understand that your worth is not up for debate. Grace liberates you from the burden of carrying offense and allows you to walk in peace, no matter what others may say or do. It is a powerful response rooted in wisdom, strength, and compassion. Your heart is the core of who you are. It is the wellspring of your thoughts, emotions, and desires. Everything you do flows from it. And that's why it is so essential to guard your heart, especially in moments of conflict or when faced with insults. The words and actions of others, if allowed, can penetrate your heart and cause damage, affecting how you see yourself and the world around you. But when you guard your heart, you protect the very essence of your being from the destructive forces of negativity. Guarding your heart means being selective about what you allow to enter your inner world. Not every word spoken to you should find a place in your heart. People may hurl insults, criticism, or negativity your way, but you have the power to decide whether those words will take root in your mind and influence your emotions. Just because someone says something hurtful doesn't mean you have to accept it as truth. When you guard your heart, you filter out what is harmful and choose to only let in what uplifts, strengthens, and builds you up. In moments of insult or offense, it's easy to let your guard down, to absorb the negativity and internalize the hurtful words. But when you do, those words can begin to shape how you see yourself. They can breed insecurity, doubt, and fear. They can lead you to question your worth and value. That is why guarding your heart is so vital. It prevents the poison of other people's words from contaminating your soul. You must be vigilant, always remembering that your identity and worth are not determined by the opinions or actions of others, but by something much deeper within you. Guarding your heart also means protecting your peace. Peace is one of the most valuable treasures you can possess, but it is fragile. It can be easily disturbed by outside forces if you are not careful. When insults or offenses come, they aim to rob you of that peace, to stir up anger, bitterness, and frustration within you. But when you guard your heart, you refuse to let those things steal your inner calm. You choose to respond with wisdom rather than emotion, ensuring that your peace remains intact. To guard your heart, you must be intentional about where you place your focus. When someone insults you, it's tempting to dwell on their words, to replay the moment over and over in your mind. But this only gives the insult more power. Instead, shift your focus away from the offense and toward things that bring life, joy, and strength to your heart. Focus on your purpose, your values, and your own personal growth. By doing this, you remind yourself of what truly matters, and you keep the negativity at bay. Guarding your heart is also about setting boundaries, both external and internal. Externally, it may mean distancing yourself from people or environments that are consistently toxic or harmful. You are not obligated to subject yourself to repeated mistreatment. Internally, it means setting boundaries in your own mind and emotions, refusing to let negative words or thoughts linger longer than they should. You have the authority to decide what occupies your mental and emotional space. When you guard your heart, you are not denying the reality of difficult situations or pretending that hurtful words don't affect you. Rather, you are choosing how much access you will give those things to your inner life. You are protecting the place from which your actions and decisions flow, ensuring that negativity doesn't dictate your responses or shape your future. At the end of the day, guarding your heart is about preserving the best parts of you, the parts that are loving, peaceful, wise, and strong. It is about nurturing your soul in such a way that you remain whole, even in the face of offense. By guarding your heart, you keep your spirit free from the chains of bitterness, resentment, and anger, allowing you to continue living with purpose, joy, and clarity. You protect the treasure within you, ensuring that it remains untouched by the storms that may rage around you. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you can wield, yet it is often misunderstood or overlooked. In moments of conflict, when someone insults or provokes you, the world expects a response. It is almost as though there is an unspoken rule that demands we react, defend ourselves, or counterattack. But the power of silence defies that expectation. Silence is not weakness, it is strength under control. It is the wisdom to know that not every situation requires your words, and not every provocation deserves your attention. Silence speaks volumes without saying a word. It shows that you are not easily swayed by the chaos around you, that you are in control of your emotions, and that you have the maturity to discern when to engage and when to withhold your response. There is a strength in knowing when to remain silent, because it takes far more restraint to hold your peace than to unleash your tongue. Silence is a shield that protects you from being dragged into unnecessary battles, into petty conflicts that serve no purpose other than to drain your energy and disturb your peace. When someone insults you, they are often looking for a reaction. They want to provoke you, to pull you into their negativity, to see if they can disrupt your calm. But when you respond with silence, you refuse to give them what they are seeking. You rise above the situation, showing that you are not controlled by external forces, but guided by inner wisdom. Your silence sends a message that your self-worth is not up for debate. that you don't need to prove yourself, and that your peace is more valuable than winning an argument. Silence also gives you the space to reflect. In the midst of conflict, words spoken in haste often lead to regret. How many times have we said things in the heat of the moment that we wished we could take back? Silence, however, creates a buffer. It allows you to pause, to assess the situation, and to choose a response that aligns with your values and purpose. In that moment of silence, you can consider whether a response is even necessary, or if the best course of action is to simply let the situation pass without engagement. Moreover, silence can be disarming. It disrupts the flow of negativity. When someone insults you and you choose not to respond, it often leaves them puzzled, even unsettled. They expect you to retaliate, to defend yourself, but your silence catches them off guard. It shifts the dynamic of the interaction. Instead of feeding into their anger or frustration, you withhold your energy, and in doing so, you diffuse the tension. Silence takes the power away from the one who seeks to offend and places it back in your hands. There is also a profound dignity in silence. It shows that you value your own voice enough to use it wisely. You don't waste your words on meaningless exchanges or allow others to dictate when you should speak. Silence is a form of self-respect. It communicates that you know the weight your words carry and that you will not squander them on trivial matters. Instead, you save your voice for moments that truly matter, for situations where your words can bring healing, wisdom, or clarity. Yet silence is not about avoidance. It is not a retreat from responsibility or a way to ignore injustice. Rather, it is a tool of discernment. Silence allows you to listen more deeply to yourself, to others, and to the situation at hand. In the quiet of your silence, you can hear the motives behind the insult. You can understand the dynamics at play, and you can choose how best to respond, if at all. Silence is a space where wisdom grows, where you separate your ego from your higher self and make decisions from a place of clarity rather than emotion. In many ways, silence is a teacher. It teaches you patience, forbearance, and the art of choosing your battles wisely. It reminds you that not every offense is worth your energy, and not every insult needs to be addressed. Silence teaches you that your peace is precious and that you have the power to protect it by not engaging in every conflict that comes your way. So the next time someone insults you or tries to provoke a reaction, consider the power of silence. Let your silence speak for you. Let it be a testament to your strength, your wisdom, and your ability to rise above the noise. In that silence, you will find peace. In that peace, you will find clarity. And in that clarity, you will discover the freedom that comes from not being bound by the expectations of others, but by the wisdom that guides your own heart. When faced with offense, insult, or criticism, the natural human instinct is often to strike back, to defend ourselves, or even to tear down the person who has wronged us. But true wisdom calls us to rise above these instincts. In every situation, we are given a choice to add to the brokenness of the world by responding with negativity, or to bring healing by choosing to uplift rather than tear down. It's a higher calling, one that requires strength, compassion, and an understanding that the power of your words can either build or destroy. The temptation to tear down often comes from a place of hurt. When someone insults you, it can feel like an attack on your dignity, your character, or your worth. The impulse to respond in kind is rooted in a desire to protect yourself, to show that you are not weak, and to return the pain that was inflicted upon you. But tearing down only creates more division, more hurt, and more negativity. It perpetuates a cycle where no one wins, and where both parties walk away wounded. Instead, choosing to uplift shifts the dynamic entirely. It is not about ignoring wrongs or pretending that everything is fine, but about responding in a way that seeks to bring out the best in others, even when they've shown you the worst of themselves. To uplift is to recognize that behind the harsh words or the offense, there is often a deeper need, perhaps a cry for validation, a response to personal pain, or a reflection of their own inner struggles. By choosing to uplift, you are breaking the cycle of negativity, and offering something transformative, a path toward growth, healing, and understanding. Uplifting others does not mean that you are excusing their behavior. It means that you are choosing not to be consumed by it. You are choosing to lead by example, to show a higher way. When you respond with kindness, grace, and wisdom, you are not just helping the other person, you are protecting your own spirit. You are refusing to let bitterness take root in your heart. By seeking to uplift, you maintain your own dignity and integrity, preserving the peace and strength that resides within you. There is immense power in choosing to speak life into situations where death is being spoken. Where insults are hurled, you can offer words of wisdom. Where criticism is harsh, you can bring constructive feedback or encouragement. When you seek to uplift, you are not just changing the tone of the conversation, you are changing the atmosphere around you. You create space for healing, for reconciliation, and for personal growth, not only for others, but for yourself as well. Uplifting others also reflects a deep understanding of the human condition. We are all at some point flawed and imperfect. We all make mistakes, say the wrong things, and hurt others sometimes unintentionally. When you choose to uplift, you are extending the same grace that you too will one day need. It is a reminder that none of us are perfect and that we are all on a journey of growth. To uplift is to acknowledge that every person has the potential for change, that beneath their actions there is a heart that can be touched and transformed. Furthermore, when you seek to uplift rather than tear down, you become a source of light in a world that often feels dark. People remember those who encouraged them, who saw potential in them even when they were at their worst. Your choice to uplift may be the very thing that inspires someone to change their ways, to reflect on their behavior, or to rise above their own pain. It's not just about responding to the moment, it's about planting seeds that can bear fruit in the future. Uplifting others doesn't always come easily. It requires humility, patience, and sometimes restraint. But the rewards are profound. You are building a legacy of positivity, one where your words and actions leave a lasting impact. You are contributing to a culture of kindness, wisdom, and understanding rather than one of division and hostility. In the end, seeking to uplift is about recognizing that you have the power to influence the world around you, starting with how you respond to the people in your life. Every word you speak can either build someone up or tear them down. Every action you take can either contribute to healing or to harm. By choosing to uplift, you are not only protecting your own heart, but also empowering others to see beyond their mistakes and reach for something greater. You are setting a standard of excellence, showing that true strength lies not in tearing others apart, but in lifting them toward their highest potential.